Welcome to the Smart Science Measurement Help video about the second class lever. Now, in this lab, you're learning what a second class lever is, how it's set up, and how the force and mass change as you move the mass along that lever and try to measure the force. So the first thing to notice on this Explore page is up at the top, you've got a diagram that kind of shows you how this lever is set up. On the far left is the fulcrum, the mass is in between, and on the right is that scale measuring the force. So the mass pulls down on the lever, the force is measured on the far right, and it pivots on the far left. So notice the guideline, it's going to explain to you that you're clicking on the close-up of the meter that you see on the right over here. Beyond that scale, we've taken a close-up of the scale so you can see that metal tab so you know where to click to measure force. Okay, so how do you go about doing this? Well, first consider this question. How does position of the mass affect the force measured for a lever, in this case, second class lever? And the question is, if the mass moves closer to the fulcrum, will the force increase, decrease, or not change? I'm just going to show you what it looks like. Now, you can also write your own hypothesis if you're in a more advanced class. If I click one, you notice it goes into a box labeled as my hypothesis. And now we've got 4 different masses that we can use. So we'll start with the first one. Notice that we're going to watch a video just showing how this lever is set up. See the fulcrum there on the right. See the scale there on the right, the fulcrum on the left, the scale on the right, and the mass moving between them. So fulcrum there on the left, scale on the right, close-up of scale on the extreme right. So notice what you can do here. You can follow these instructions, whether it be this picture, whether it be watching my video, or whether it be looking at the instructions down here. We're clicking at the close-up of the scale pointer. By doing that, we're going to see the distance and the force given a certain mass that this video is set up for, in this case 250 grams. Each time I click, the mass will move a little bit, and again, I'll measure the force. These measurements will show up over here in the data table and on my graph. Now, if you don't like your measurements, you can always reset, start over again, sort of try to work and improve your quality of measuring. If you do like your measurements and you finish the set, eventually it's going to give you a prompt to go ahead and save them. I'm just going to do that a little early and save right now just to show you what that looks like. And saving, that's going to go up in my list of experiments here, and I can see that graph in red now. Each graph will be a different color, and once you finish all 4 graphs, be sure to use this all button to superimpose them all, show them all at the same time on this graph over here so you can compare and contrast the different masses. Do they act the same? Do they act differently? Thank you for watching this Smart Science video about the second class lever, and hopefully now you understand a little more about how to do this lab.